Well, we're turning our attention now from business to something that, I think Kayla got the memo this morning with the color that she's wearing. But indeed, we shone brightly yesterday at the CAF Awards, which celebrated Nigeria's very own Ademola Lookman. His name is Ademola Olajade Lookman, who came out as the CAF Best Player award, after doing fantastically well for his club, Atalanta, which plays in the Serie A, and also the Nigeria Super Eagles. Well, Nigeria Super Eagles have not exactly done very well, but qualifying for the AFCON 2025, certainly with Lookman playing his role there, his position shone brightly, his incredible skills shone through, and also his clinical finishing. Well, it wasn't just Lookman who, got that personal trophy. The ladies, too, also did us a super one. Did us really, really proud. The Super Falcons of Nigeria came up as the team for the year. So these are things that we really should celebrate. It happened in faraway Morocco, and I could tell you I was here when that was happening at work, and I could see a lot of my colleagues were really excited about it. It's certainly a very wonderful note to be ending the year with. And with joining us this morning to discuss the importance of this and how we can build on this going into the new year is Mr. Shuaibu Gombe, who is the former chairman, Gombe State Football Association. Sometimes I kind of think that this title doesn't quite caption the totality of who you are in the sports industry, but it's what we have for you, Mr. Gombe. And I know you're joining us all the way from Morocco, where the action took place last night. How did you feel being a Nigerian in Morocco and hearing that Nigeria is shining brightly at the Confederation Awards?
Yeah, thank you, Move. Honestly, it has been so wonderful. It has been so interesting. It has been a source of pride for all of us that really have Nigerian roots here in Morocco with our friends, our neighbors in the cafes, shops when they see us. What really surprised me most was that they are still talking about Okocha, asking us about Namco Kanu, they are asking us about Rashid Ekini and rest of it. All those names reverberated yesterday, and they were asking, where are these great players? Are they alive? We have to start explaining to them. Unfortunately, we have lost Rashid Ekini, but Nigeria would always come out tops. We will always produce good players, and we are telling them that, look, we have a lot of Ademola Lookmans, we have a lot of Osimhen coming up, so they should watch out. So it has been very exciting. We are proud as Nigerians, and it has been so wonderful. The issue is that how have we been managing victory in Nigerian football? How have we been managing our successes? And I ask myself, please, at what point do we attach or recruit qualified psychologists, we find them around these players, around our teams, around our sports to manage these players? Remember, I said it to someone, and he said he disagreed with me, that Osimhen that won the best player last year, he has not been managed very well. And now we have another Lookman, probably younger than him. So we need to do more in managing this victory and managing this success of Lookman. For the ladies, yes, Falcons, in fact, they are more or less in their birthright to be the best in African football. But apparently, that one also, we are slipping away gradually. We have so much confusion in appointing coaches for the Falcons, and also the politics of player in, player out, who is the captain, who is not the captain, and all those sort of things. So please, I think we need to do more on that. And our football generally, we need to look beyond having individual successes in our team. Since 1994, our Super Eagles for Nigeria has not produced a team that all of us are proud of. All of us will have confidence on that. Remember 1994, the team we had under Western Hope was just to be the most entertaining team in the world. And that was a product of a proper planning, product of proper transition, product of managing successes and results. And now, if I and you know, it's difficult to confidently beat your chest and say anything the Super Eagles beat, they can overrun them. It's very difficult. So, Pompey, I think we need to do what we have to go back to the drawing board and manage the success. In 1985, Nigeria produced the best, or rather, the number one, won the maiden edition of FIFA Under 17 World Cup in China. 40 years or 48 years or something years after, we are struggling to qualify for the.
I want to be able to talk about that, because, I mean, congratulations, to Ademola Lookman and to Chiamaka Nnadozie, that's the CAF women goalkeeper of the, and of course the Super Falcons. But I remember with like the last Olympics, we heard visa issues, and some embarrassing situations that shouldn't really be coming up if we're determined to make it in the world stage. I want to be able to talk to you a little bit about some of these challenges and the rejigging of the sports infrastructure and leadership, so to speak, in Nigeria. Does it spell, better days for our team so that we can start having group successes and actually winning these cups that we used to win back in the day, as opposed to this interesting paradox where we see individual players doing very well, but as a collective, our sports, especially football, not doing so well?
Yes, first and foremost, let me just say something about what you mentioned about issue of visa. I have the privileges of knowing and understanding the processes of immigration issues and also has to do with visa issues for that places. All these embassies, they are aware that Nigerians want to always migrate and they want to Japan. And also our stories that is coming out of about our activities in other parts of the world, how we have been behaving, how we have been conducting ourselves and things. Now, they are aware of that. They always have intelligence reports coming to them. And also, they also understand the proliferation of football academies, scouting programs everywhere, everybody doing it. So at any time they see any application from a Nigerian team, starting now from the private clubs and the rest of it, the first suspicion is that 50 of them are immigrants, they will never come back, they want to migrate. So also, when it comes to our national team players or our national teams, the relationship between these embassies, these diplomatic communities in Nigeria and also our sports authorities, not only in football, almost all the federations, we have the 38 sports federations, we have 39 or 40, they have this issue about immigration. And we need to sit down within the foreign affairs architecture of Nigeria, the sports industry, to work out a comprehensive immigration and visa development plans. And remember, some of these embassies also, they have good relationship with NAPTIP, that is the national agency that is in charge of provision of trafficking and rest of it. One single report, one single intelligence that's shared spoils everything. So we need a coordinated approach, a coordinated policy to come up with a program on what is the best process that Nigerian teams can apply for visas to countries anywhere in the world and they get approved without denials, without any other issues. Another thing is that the submission period. I can tell you one incident that happened just recently. A club qualifies to play outside Nigeria, and they prepared. A match was played on a Saturday, on a Friday, and the next match is supposed to be on a Tuesday. So before Friday, they have submitted their applications for visas. Later, they withdrew these applications and said after the match on a Friday, they may change the team. They will know who is qualified and who is not qualified. So they have to bring these applications back on a Monday because the embassies don't work on Saturday and Sunday, and they are to travel on a Tuesday for the match, which is just a space of 5 days or thereabouts. And when they played that match, apart from substituting some of the list of the players that they have injuries. So all this that happened, which means that takes us back to a situation whereby a team that is allowed to register 30 or 35 players should have quality players at any given time. When you are applying for visa and you know you want to travel with 30 players, apply for 35. So if there is any injury, there's any changes you can make. But you find it, they don't do that. So that takes us back to professionalism. Yeah. And also the padding of the list. You find somebody who has no business in football, they will put his name and say this one is a supporter, this one is this. Some of these embassies, they follow Facebook pages, they follow social media, they follow the names of, they see a name. There's one particular embassy that saw the name of somebody who has nothing to do with football on social media, but is an influencer. But the next thing, he was submitted as an official of a club that wants visa, and he was rejected, and the next thing will complain. So on that part, honestly speaking, I think something has to be done. We need to have a coordinated policy on how to deal with these embassies and foreign institutions about visa, so that Nigeria will this issue of denials will be minimized. Now, the issue of a new direction, yes, a new sporting architecture in our sports. Yes, we have new men. Shehu Diko and Bukola Olapade are in charge now. Whether we like it or not, they are there. Let's see what's going to happen. But my problem is that the start has always been promises, 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 promises. That is not what we should be doing. We have to. I mean, what I expected them to do as they confess, to sit down and study what is on ground before anything else, before making any pronouncement. But you see, when they came from day one, they are receiving all sorts of people. People don't allow them to do their work. Psychopaths, visit over visit, including people who were banned by international sporting bodies, who were banned for life from participating in sport. They were paying them visits and they are taking pictures with them, which is an offense itself. It is wrong. Integrity policy of sports, especially football, once you are banned for life, you must not be seen publicly with any officer that is running sports or football. But they were doing this, all this sort of people. So, but I think that should be over. We should allow them to do their job if really they are ready to do the job. Two, they should not be talking about promises. Every time you hear them, we want to do this, we want to do that. Anybody who comes to pay courtesy call, they make promises. That is not good, because there will be failure and that will increase the trust deficit that exists in the industry. Again, there's issue of funding. You need money to do this. Even though I keep on saying, no president in the history of Nigeria has released money to sports within the space of 2 years like President Tinubu did. He released between 24 to 28 billion. We went to Olympics, we came back without a single medal and rest of it. So they have to look for where to get money. And if the president is ready to fund sports, he wants to give them all the money, they need fine. They should forget their past. They should be talking about.
I really do wish that sometimes, when we get wins like this, I wish that we could just relish and enjoy the moment, without all these complaints. It's such a sad thing that, whenever it is, even when there are happy moments, we can't but reflect on just how much better things could be back home, and I totally get it. But let's focus a little on Lookman today and also the wins of the Super Falcons, because we know that Lookman is a comeback kid of some sort, and who knows, maybe his influence might also affect our own football. Maybe we can come back to the days of Nigerian 94, the Nigerian 94 team, which the world still talks about till today. But, can you talk to us a bit about Lookman's resolve? This was a guy who could not convert a penalty in front of the world. He couldn't convert a penalty for everything. And we understand that his coach was very unhappy and, really came at him. And, today he's the best player in Africa. What can you tell us about the resilience that Lookman has shown?
Well, individually, he has made up his mind to work hard. And I can tell you, he must have had a wonderful guide, proper counseling, and someone to encourage him. He was not really abandoned. He must have had a proper infrastructure wherever he is. He must have had a good training program wherever he is to recover from his psyche, to recover from his fitness, to recover from so many other things. And also a good team, because if you are playing football and if you are not within a very good team, you will go astray. And I can tell you, look, he's not only the one who has this kind of history that was so difficult, and he turned out to be one of the best players in the world. We have had what's his name? Is it Victor Moses? Victor Moses had, we were told actually, but later the stories we are hearing change, that his parents were killed during one of the Kaduna riots. His uncle took him to UK at the age of 9, and later he came up to play for Nigeria. He turned out to be one of the best players Nigeria ever produced. So, and Lookman, as he is today, he will serve as a source of inspiration. Like I tried to tell you, everything is about managing successes. He will serve as a source of inspiration. He can come back and be organizing, time to time, maybe during his breaks, to serve, to be organizing some clinics for the young ones to go back and check his roots, and also to, identify maybe with some academies that they can develop a very good relationship and find a pathway for other younger ones to grow in the game. And for generally, I still insist that the managers of our sports and the managers of our industries have a greater responsibility in managing these players. I do not think today, if the Super Eagles have a psychologist, I am not too sure. And I do not think that most of our sports federations have a psychologist. All this is about psychology is to tell the player to be humble. Don't put this to go too far into your head. Be humble. Try to look back and help where you come from and rest of it. So going back to the 94th, it is one person cannot make us go back to those of 94.
I want to talk about our sister from Paris FC, Chiamaka Nnadozie. She's actually considered one of the best female goalkeepers in the whole world. This is her second time, she of winning the award for goalkeeper of the year. It's the second time, and she has an amazing track record, been doing great things in football and also in her team, Paris FC. You talked about management of these players. What more can be done to ensure that we have more people excited to join this industry and make the kind of strides, or even bigger strides than Chiamaka and Lookman and the Super Falcons?
That is what I'm saying. If you look at our football today, we appoint coaches for development. We appoint coaches for tournaments. We don't appoint coaches for development. We appoint coaches and tell them, qualify us for this, win this and win that. That is not what we need. All these players in Falcons and whatever, what we need is a coach that will say, failure or success, give us a 5-year program, 5-year development program. Morocco did it. Many other countries tried. In that 5 years, when we fail, look at the bad sides, what you need to correct, and move on. But since we appointed him just for tournaments, when he doesn't qualify, we remove him, we bring another one. And that is a tragedy of our situation. All national team coaches, if we have the money, because I know the FA has a program of funding too, which was what I have been trying to say. They have a problem of funding. So they cannot afford to keep all these coaches for almost 13 national teams that we have. But the most important thing is that we need to have a program for them. We have a technical director of the Nigerian football, also in Gabon, who is now a caretaker coach of the Eagles. So who does his job as technical director? He is not distracted to go and handle the Super Eagles. The Super Eagles is a complete project of his own. And now he is asked to go and manage He's also senior technical director. So the technical department is supposed to have program for development, for football development, supposed to have a proper transition. That is the only way we can have more of the likes of Chiamaka, which actually we have the likes of a lot of Chiamakas. We have a lot of Lookmans on the streets of Nigeria. But how do we manage them? And it starts from the regulator, the regulator of Nigerian football. Which program do we have? School sports, we have abandoned it. Football, in those days, you start from the primary schools, you go to Principal's Cup, from Principal's Cup, you now move on. There was a time, most of the players that are playing even in the clubs in Nigeria are from the universities. From Yabate, from the University of Lagos, from Ife, from Ebu Zaria, and the University of Jos. We have produced so many footballers from there. So what did we do? Where did we go wrong? Why don't we go back to these places, organize the intercollegiate games, go back to Principal's Cup, go back to Headmaster's Cup, and rest of it, to bring out these talents and put it. Well, thank God that the president has appointed a special advisor on grassroots sports. That alone is a department. That alone, in a serious place, is supposed to be an agency for grassroots football development under the sports commission. Not even a department, because it's a huge market, it's a huge economy, it has a lot of potentials for Nigeria. So if we want to have, like you said, teams that will reflect our successes, our image for 1994, to have more of Lookman, to have more of Chiamaka, honestly speaking, we need to go back to the drawing board and have a 5-year development plan or 10-year development plan, considering or taking into consideration all the institutions along the line from primary school to secondary school and universities.
Well, would you say that we're being a little too hard on ourselves? When you look at the fact that, last year, one of our players, one of our own, won this Footballer of the Year. This year again, another Nigerian has taken it home, coming at a time when we've been receiving knocks internationally, particularly from at least one particular Nigerian in the diaspora. Well, she's more British now than Nigerian, the conservative leader of in the United Kingdom. I'm just wondering whether you think that we're being too hard on ourselves, considering the fact that we've had steady wins in the CAF Awards.
You see, we always don't have poverty of successes in Nigeria. We always have a poverty of successes. This young woman, a Kemi that is trying to mess up Nigeria, is just unfortunate. I'm so disappointed in her for making all those jabs against Nigeria. When she used Nigeria to get to where she is now, she's insulting us. But that's by the way. And she will see the outcome of all this nonsense she was saying against Nigeria. Now, coming back to the euphoria of winning all these awards in the CAF Awards and the rest of it. Yes, like I said, we always have a good time. I kept on saying it's also how we manage these successes has always been our problem. But for me, when we win, sometimes I remember I was on one of your programs there on channels when I was asked about the Nations Cup success. I said I'm not happy that Nigeria reached the finals. People were after me. I say yes, whenever we succeed, we forget all the problems. We forget all the minuses. We forget the corruption, we forget everything. But until when we lose again, then we remember we have problems. And that's why I said, can we stop at the time to check our sporting system, our infrastructure, our governance system, our sports economy, and everything? Let me tell you something that will shock you. Elkenemi Warriors Football Club of Maiduguri qualified to play in the CAF Confederations Cup. They have to travel all the way from Maiduguri, more than 800 kilometers, to go to Ikene, Abeokuta, before they got a field that is certified, that is qualified to host international matches in Ikene State. A private facility developed by Kule Soname, the proprietor of Remo Stars. How many states? They passed through maybe 16 or up to 19 states through to get to Abeokuta from Maiduguri. Now the whole of Nigeria, only Uyo goes to La Pabio Stadium that is qualified to host international matches. And even that one, if care is not taken, very soon CAF or FIFA will not approve that. Where do we go? Morocco here is hosting about 6 countries that their stadia are not approved. They don't have qualified stadia. They are playing in Morocco. Morocco, being a big brother, has given them their facility to use. Abuja National Stadium, a former minister collected $1 million from Dangote to upgrade it. Now, Abuja's National Stadium is downgraded to level 4. Sorry, to level 1, if you understand. Because there are, in infrastructure, there are 4, 3, 2, and 1. Level 1, that means it's 0. We cannot play any FIFA qualified match. A stadium, Obasanjo used $85 billion to build. A stadium that we use $1 billion to to maintain. But after less than 2 years, and the minister, the person is still alive, and we didn't hold him to account. That stadium cannot host international match. Look at National Stadium in Surulere in Lagos. Some years back, we have 8 of those stadia that hosted the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. 8 of them: Enugu, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Kaduna, Bauchi, Kano, Kano, and which one other one?
Mr. Gombe, I want to ask you, what's the name of this minister? Because you say he's still alive. Who was the minister?
Yes, Sunday Dare, he's hiding there in the villa. They are not giving him an appointment.
Mr. Sunday Dare.
Yes, Sunday Dare is the one who received $1 million from Dangote to upgrade Abuja National Stadium.
And that is confirmed?
Less than 2 years. It's confirmed. Ask him. He's watching me. Or send him this video that Garba said Dangote paid $1 million to upgrade and repair of Abuja National Stadium. The same thing, Baba Ijebu, this owner of this bet company, paid money for Lagos. They started, they were making noise. We are going to return Lagos Stadium to that. And because Sunday Dare used his tenure as minister to run sports in the media. That is just it. Some people who are building small shops in the National Stadium before he was born, he chased all of them away, cleared the place that he wants to turn the place into Wembley. He started, then later he came to say that the money Baba Ijebu gave was not enough. Before you go to ask Baba Ijebu to give you money to repair the National Stadium in Surulere, didn't you do a bill of quantities?
Well, I wish we had more time for this, you know, certainly. But I think it's important for us to have this kind of information out there so these people can actually come out and say this was what they did or didn't do. But thank you so much for your time.
If I start to talk, this channel would burst.
we're almost out of time. I think we certainly will get Mr. Sunday Dare to, you know, respond to this particular allegation on getting $1 million. But I think your lesson is very well taken, that we mustn't be carried away by these awards and look inwards to see how it is that we can actually improve our game at home. Thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Early this morning, Mr. Shuaibu Gombe.
Thank you.
Well, that's the program today. Kayla, suddenly you did get the memo. I mean, this is all for Nigeria, Super Focus. And of course, I mean, what's the color of Christmas if green is not featuring prominently right there? So we're going to end with a quote. This is from Lookman. Yesterday when he won, he said, "Don't let your failures weigh you down, that they break your wings. Matter of fact, turn your pain into your power and continue to fight." And I think it's an appropriate message for Nigerians this morning. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your day. I'm Mao Yusuf.
Have a great day ahead. I'm Kayla Magwa.